Okay. Patch notes for September 20th, 2022. Again, I have not read these. I don't know a single change. The literal only change I know, 2 changes that I know. The 2 things that I know that have been changed is the number of required weekly quests was going to be lowered, and chat let me know to download the assets patch, whatever, ahead of time so that I wouldn't have to wait for that. So going in very fresh. I don't know any of this. General. Emotes. A new set of emotes are available for use. Check them out while playing a match by tapping your avatar. Okay, so, oh, those emotes. Let your opponent know how you're feeling about the latest play. Okay. The matchmaking system will allow for longer wait time for high-ranked players to increase the likelihood of finding a more competitive opponent. I hope that means person and not bot. I would assume that's what that meant. Weekly mission requirements have been reduced to 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 completed daily missions. Previously 5, 10, 20, 30, 35. The game results screen has been visually upgraded. Okay. Card art variant names are now visible in the shop and card details screen. Card art variant names. Does that mean artist names? Oh, it's very generic names like sports variant. Okay. Oh, double the max number of decks. Ooh, I didn't see that. That's awesome. Thank you. I saw this when I opened settings. I saw haptics are now supported on Android devices. That's interesting. Game resolution has been increased on low settings. Added a download all assets button in settings that will let players choose to download all files at a time of their choice. That's what I did already. Downloading ahead of time will improve match game performance for players on devices with less RAM, slower processors, and or poor network connectivity. We've added initial support for the Spanish language. You can switch between languages in the settings menu. This includes both text and voiceovers. Please note that there are some areas in the game that are not yet fully translated. Cool. Let's play in Spanish today. I kind of want to a little bit, honestly. I kind of do want to hear some of the Spanish voiceovers. To make for a snappier experience when moving, ongoing effects updates are paused while moving multiple cards. Colossus visual effects have been disabled for now to prevent the glowing Colossus issue. Updated card visual effects for Agatha, Apocalypse, Ghost Rider, Goose, Kraven, and Warpath. Updated visual location effects for Attilan, Bifrost, Mindscape, and The Raft. New card sounds for Adam Warlock, Apocalypse, Colossus, Doctor Doom, Ghost Rider, Kraven, Lockjaw, Mojo, Mystique, Quake, Warpath, Wong. New location sounds for Baxter Building, Dream Dimension, Nowhere, Lechuguilla, Mindscape, Nidavellir, The Raft. Voiceovers removed Defeat VO line, Spanish VO. Removed Defeat. Interesting. Was it because we kept saying defeat, like defeat? Card updates. Oh, okay, here we go. Arnim Zola no longer adds copies of a card if his target was not destroyed. I mean, we kind of saw that coming, I think. Baron Mordo, on reveal, your opponent draws a card, set its cost to 6. Baron Mordo's cost increase tends to be very inconsequential in practice. We're bumping this effect's cost markup to make it more impactful. Okay. Jessica Jones, on reveal, if you don't play a card here next turn, plus 4 power. But she went down to a 4. So she was, what, a 5/8? Went up to 10, now she's a 4/4, goes up to 8. Jessica Jones' effect is one that was a bit too stifling to be reliant on turn 6, so we're looking at a change similar to Rescue, where moving her to be a 4-cost card will allow her effect to see more play. I like that. I see that as a buff. Lady Sif to a 3/4. Oh, no more turn 6 Sif Ghost Rider, unless you play a Psylocke ahead of time. Lady Sif's effect in combination with many other cards is very strong, especially on a 2-cost card with high power. So we're moving it up to a 3-cost. Sif did nothing wrong. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. It's you're nerfing Lady Sif because of Ghost Rider. I think the turn 6 Ghost Rider move is fine. You just ruined my Agatha deck. Not ruined, but you did something to my Agatha deck. Moving Sif to 3 makes sense, but you should have given her 1/2 power. 4 power is still a lot. That's a lot. Mr. Negative, 4/4 to a 4/1. The Mr. Negative deck is very strong and tends to have an unhealthy play pattern of skipping your first few turns. We're taking Mr. Negative's power down to tone the deck down. That makes sense because you would stack, a lot of times you would stack Sarah on top of Negative. You could drop your flipped Iron Man on that or something. Professor X, ongoing lockdown this location. Cards can't be added, removed, etc. We're making Professor X's text more general, as the expectation for his effect tends to be more aligned with this location's locked and nothing can happen, rather than only these effects in the parentheses are disabled. Along with this change, Professor X will now prevent cards from switching ownership like Hobgoblin. So Professor X flips first, so if you have priority and you Professor X, they're gonna sit on that Goblin. Yes! Buff my boy! Spider-Man's a bit weak right now, so we're giving him extra power to help him out. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, you are. That's what I want to see. Make him a 4-4 next. Yeah, I think we will get to 4-4 with Spidey. I think we're going to get to 4-4 with Spidey. He's just so... 4-2 is so weak. It feels inconsequential. You need to have the perfect turn 5 move for that location for it to be worth it. And like, I would never play him on turn 5, honestly. Spidey's effect is so strong, though. It's so strong, but... it's got to be used the right way, and I feel like I haven't found that right moment with Spider-Man yet. I guess it's Daredevil and Spider-Man. That's really what I got to start using more. Thor, 3-4. This is smart. Reducing Thor's cost should give players more flexibility when playing the card, and also allow more time to draw Mjolnir. I like this because Thor could get a little too powerful with things like Lockjaw, things like Sinister. He didn't need to be that powerful with multiple Mjolnirs, and giving us more time and more flexibility, I like. Okay, 5 cost card updates. Abomination, who like never gets played, up to a 9. That makes sense. Arrow, Arrow gets a power boost. Black Bolt gets a power boost. Blue Marvel, interesting. Reduced to a 5/3. Interesting. That's a pretty strong fucking card to be a 5 cost. I don't think this sticks. I think this gets changed in the next patch. We'll see how it goes though. Especially now you can play Blue Marvel into Spectrum? Whew. Devil Dinosaur. This is what I thought was gonna happen. You give him some power and you increase his cost. Makes sense. That's to combat the negative flip. Gamora, on reveal, if your opponent played a card here, this turns +5 power, and she's getting a little more power. She was a 5/6 yesterday. Claw, 5/4, the location to the right has +6 power. So instead of +5/6, you're making it more powerful? Holy shit. Red Skull's more powerful now. Ronin, +3 power for each card in your opponent's hands, but it's a 5 cost now, right? This was a 4 cost before. Yo, 5/7 Spider-Woman? Holy crap. That's huge. That's so much power. That's like adding 13 power. Sorry, I can do math. 11 power on turn 5 if your opponent has a full lane. Holy crap. Yeah, right. Now you can use the Ryan Gonzalez variant. Hell yeah. Yeah, Ronin got a big old buff. God, these are all very good moves. Agatha got a buff. Hulk got a buff. Onslaught got a buff. Spectrum got a buff. This idiot got a buff. Many of our 5 and 6 cost cards don't quite live up to their lofty energy costs. We'd also like to give our 5 cost cards some more identity, as many of them at the moment have rather simplistic effects compared to many of the other cards in Snap. We're making a suite of balance changes targeted at the 5-6 cost range to help some cards that are underperforming or provide some more interesting options at 5 costs. Hell, fucking, you want to provide an interesting option? Blue Marvel, Jesus Christ. That's huge. Location updates. After turn 3 for a Tillin, shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 3 cards. You make it clear to players as they'll be able to easily tell that they have until turn 3 is over to use their hand. Okay. New location, Necrotia. Cards here have -2 power. Clintar has been replaced with Necrotia. I was going to say, wasn't that Clintar? Bug fixes. In-match fixes. Cards should now be less likely to show up black, blank, empty during matches. We fixed the main bug where a bunch of card art was suddenly turned black in the middle of the game. We're still on the lookout for ways card art could show up black. Fixed an issue with Lechugia or Korg adding racks to the hand could cause clients to freeze. Fixed a bug that should prevent deathlock visual effects, freezing some devices. Players can now retreat if your opponent plays Daredevil on turn 5 and snaps. Yay! Fixed a bug where 2 friendly Daredevils would result in their effects being canceled. That's awesome. Juan's ability now functions correctly with Onslaught if Onslaught is played after Juan. Yo, we're gonna Exodia tonight. On-reveal effects triggered by Odin are now doubled by Camartage. They weren't? Oh, you know what? I think I do remember a few instances of being like, wait, shouldn't I have gotten more of something? Improved speed of Khazar and Blue Marvel's abilities when they update card power. Good. You didn't need to do that for each individual card when like a Khazar would be hit by an Enchantress or something. That took so long. Fix an issue where Domino can get stuck in your hand after you've played her. I've seen that. Fix an issue where Hulks created at Gamma Lab retained modifiers from before transformation. Gamma Lab now turns token spawn cards into Hulk properly. Okay, so you no longer retain buffs. Fix an issue. I haven't seen Gamma Lab in a while. No, they did? No. Oh. Fix an issue where the peak did not visually change the power of some cards. What's the peak? What's the peak? Is that a location? Huh. I don't think that one's out yet. Interesting that it's in the patch notes. Xander visual effects activation cleaned up. Falcon visual effects now moves when Falcon moves. Fixed an issue where cards could go invisible in hand when switching hands with your opponent. So this is what Eric was saying earlier, that there are things that are out that are not in the patch notes. Apparently Luke's bar and the peak, maybe they weren't supposed to go live. Fixed an issue where cards could go invisible in hand when switching hands with your opponent. I haven't seen that. Oh, yes, I have seen that. Limbo visual effects should no longer appear if the game's already over when the location is revealed. If Dark Dimension or Invisible Woman is in play, the opponent's cards in the top right of the rightmost location should now be easier to tap to focus. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Fantastic no longer plays visual effect if he's played on the only location remaining if a world ship is in play. I haven't seen that. That's pretty funny. Slightly adjusted the end turn button's readability and transitions. Interesting. I'm curious what that means. General fixes. Fixed an issue where auto-pushed season rewards could soft lock the client. TVA no longer prevents missions from completing correctly. Death's body is no longer missing. Collector's Cache reserve images no longer disappear when scrolling. Swiping through cards in the collection no longer closes the card instead of moving to the next card. Pasting a deck if you do not own all the cards will now create a deck with the cards you do own for that copied deck. Oh, I didn't realize that was a problem. Players should now get credit for completing the win matches with a snap mission where their opponent snapped. Oh, okay. Season key art should now show up again on Android. Thank you. Android back button should now take you to the main screen if used in the shop and collection screens. Thank you. Many bug fixes for various cards and avatar art. This may cause your game to re-download some assets. Cool. All right. Let's check out the shop. Oh, let's turn that on. I don't think I've ever so quickly bought a card. Oh no, but the Mystique! Oh, fuck! Oh, I want that too!